And we welcome you here inside the Michael J. O'Brien Court and Pascack Hills High School for another triple header of boys basketball action. We start off, as per usual, with our freshman Broncos here as they take on the Mahwah Thunderbirds. Ready to go here in the middle for the Broncos, it's Liam Kaza, and for the Thunderbirds, it is Brandon Sickler. Up it goes, and back to Ari Shishua, and we're underway. Elijah Chen will get it, and the Broncos will start things off. Kaufman now with it. He gives it over to Kyle Marquise, and now back to Shishua.
We're even.
They'll give it over in the corner. That was Kaufman. He didn't get it, but he gets it back and gives it to Marquise. Marquise looking for a way in. He's got Kaufman behind. Gives it over to Kaza, and now Chen in the corner. He's going to miss that one, and it's rebounded by Mahwah here. Elijah Dickerson's going to bring it up the court for the Thunderbirds. And now a big three, and it's good. First points of the day will go to Mahwah. It's a three-pointer there from Nico Alfano, number 24. Now Marquise gives it up to Shishua. He'll give it over to Chen. Into Shishua now, back out to Chen. He'll take another corner three, and he'll miss another one. And it's Alfano with the rebound. He'll give it over to Dickerson. He'll get it back there. And now driving in Dickerson. Out, long two. It's no good from the corner. And it'll go out. And Mahwah's way here. Inbound will be Cam Rubador on it, and now Elijah Dickerson bringing it up, puts one up, and gets it. So it'll be 5-0 the Thunderbirds after about 1.5 minutes in. Kyle Marquise taking things up. Marquise gives it over to Shishua. He'll take the three, no good. And it will be 23. Will Bader bringing it down with Alfano taking it up. He'll give it over to Dickerson. Back to Alfano. It would have been a long three, and he'll take it. And he's got it. A long three there from Nico Alfano, and that puts the Thunderbirds up 8-0. Just about 2 minutes into the first quarter of this one. It's Marquise. He's going to give it all the way over to Kaufman at the top of the key. Fakes going up, then gives it over to Marquise. Now Chen in the corner. Tried to drive in and then tried to give it to Kaza there, but it went the other way. Dickerson's got it for the Thunderbirds here. He comes up the court in almost triple coverage there. Back to Dickerson with a nice pass over to their big man. That is 15, Lucas Kale. And he's going to get another two, 10-0. And the Broncos not doing so well to start things off. They're down 10-0 with a 30-second timeout. We'll be right back. And we're back here. The Broncos ready to get back to it. It'll be Ari Shishua inbounding to Kyle Marquise. No personnel changes for the Broncos. Marquise takes it up. He'll give it over to Shishua. Now back to Marquise. He gives it over to Kaufman for three. No good. And it's going to be Dickerson bringing things down once again. He'll give it over to Alfano. Dribbles a little bit, then gives it over to Sular. Now out to Alfano once again. And Alfano with a long three, he's got it. Another big three for Mahwah, and that puts him up 13-0. Here's Kaza. Or no, that was Marquise. Kaza was in the middle there. As over to Kaufman. Now Kaza gets it, and now Shishua driving in. Over to Chen in the corner. No good on another three. And it'll go out of bounds off the top of the board.
Here we go.
Inbound here for Mahwah.
See it. Elijah, remember your path,
Ken
Elijah.
Robitor will give it up to Alfano, and now back to Robitor, now to Cagle. He's going to give it back on the back court. Tried to give it back to Cameron Bader. Got called for the back court. Good defense there from the Broncos, and now Shishua will give it into Marquise, and they'll get it again.
Pass the ball right. Keep moving.
He gives it over to Kaufman,
Good. Pass and cut.
and now over to Shishua. Back over to Marquise, now Kaufman. Turning around, gives it over to Kaza. Now back out to Kaufman. He's going to be called for a travel there. Substitution here, Ryan Altonis coming in for Lucas Cagle. And it's going to be Alfano with it. Now over to Elijah Dickerson. Now Altonis, big block there from Liam Kaza. And it'll go back the Broncos' way. Now Marquise taking things up. He's going to give it over to Kaufman for three, no good. And now Robader brings things up. Oh, big steal from Kaufman again. And finally, some points for the Broncos. They get their first points of the night on a layup from Leo Kaufman. And now out of bounds there, it'll go Mahwah's way. However, it was Alfano with the pass, and a sub in. Sebastian Miller will come in for Cameron Bader on the Mahwah substitution. And it is Miller who will give it over to Dickerson, and now over to Alfano. Another long three, and he drills it. It is Marquise taking things up here. Now Kaufman, another corner three, and he can't get it to fall.
Get back, Leo. Get back, Leo.
And it's Alfano taking things up. Big steal from Leo Kaufman.
Here we go. Set it up. Let's go.
Now Kaufman gives it over to Marquise. He's up top of the key, covered by Dickerson. Now trying to drive in, gives it out to Kaza. Now Shishua. He's going to drive in, puts one up, no good.
We have nobody going for the rebound.
And it'll be Mahwah's rebound there. Sebastian Miller with it again. He's going to give it over to Dickerson. Now back out to Miller. Now back over to Dickerson. Now Miller again. Now Sular. He's going to drive in under the hoop. And it was Elijah Chen with a hand on it there. Shishua with it. He'll give it out to Chen. Big three. No good again. And now Dickerson will bring things up for the Thunderbirds here. Just about 2 minutes left in the quarter. Over to Miller. Now back out to Dickerson. Now Miller. Another three from the wing this time. No good. And a big foul. First one of the day. It's going to be on Brandon Sular there. They're fouling Liam Kaza. Looked like they're coming down for the rebound. Jacob Churka's coming in for Kyle Marquise. That's the only personnel change for the Broncos so far in this game. And Shishua will give it into Churkas, and that's how we'll begin again. Minute 40 to go, and now Kaufman. Over to Shishua. Back over to Kaufman. Looking for a way through. He's covered by Miller. Now over to Churkas. He's going to give it over to Shishua. Three from the wing, in and out, and no good.
Run back! Run
And
back!
now Miller. Over to Dickerson. Dickerson with the long two. He gets it. Mahwah coming up with a Nico Alfano has it. He's going to give it over to Miller. Now back to Alfano. Over to Jed Olamirwa. No good on that one. Altinis trying to put it in, and he couldn't get it. Here's Cherkis with just about 35 seconds to go in the quarter. He gives it over to Shashua, 30 seconds on the clock. And now Kaufman puts up a layup and gets it. How about that? Another two for the Broncos, down 18-4, however. Alfano, they're covered. It's Miller. Now back to Alfano. All the way over on the sideline, covered by Kaufman. Now Dickerson, and they'll get 10 seconds to go. Over to Alfano. Now back to Dickerson. A three. No good. And Shashua keeps it in with just 4 to go. Up to Kaufman. 2-1 to end the quarter. It is no good. Final score at the end of the first quarter. It is 18-4. It's the Thunderbirds leading the Broncos. We'll be back in about a minute. We're back to things here for the Broncos. In is Logan Nassau, and out is Elijah Chen. That's their personnel change. A few personnel changes for Mahwah here. The most important one as of right now, Devin Snee, is in number 2, and it'll be Cam Robitor on the inbound to him. Starting off the second quarter goes back to Robitor here. And they'll begin. Back to Snee now. They'll give it over to Robitor once again. Now back over to Olamirwa. And Miller, no good. And it's Shashua back on the rebound. He'll give it to Kaufman. Kaufman will bring things up. He'll give it over to Shashua. 2, it's no good. But Kaufman gets the rebound. He'll give it over to Cherkis now, back over to Kaufman, top of the key. Now driving in, puts one up, no good again, and it'll go out this time, and it'll go Mahwah's way. On the inbound here, Logan Nassau covering. It'll be Robitor looking for somebody.
See him coming down, see the drop.
Gives it to Miller. Taken out, and Kaufman gets it, puts one up, no good. Tipped out, rebounded by Mahwah, but still. Oh, it is Mahwah's possession here. Robitor will take things up for the Thunderbirds. Up by 12, gives it over to Snee. Now over to Robitor once again, and in the corner to Olamirwa. He's going to give it over to Snee once again. Back over to Olamirwa. He's going to put one up. No good, and Kaza brings it down. But it's stolen by Miller. And Miller going to spin out of the coverage by Kaufman. Gives it over to Snee, and he'll drill a 3 from the wing. Now Cherkis will bring things up once again for the Broncos. Gives it in on a nice bounce to Kaza. Out to Shashua. Was open, drived in, couldn't get one. Now some good defense there from Shashua. Down on the ground. It goes to Cherkis, and now the Broncos, and now on the ground, a foul call. It's going to be on Jed Olamirwa here. And in comes Eden Kim, number 0, for Ari Shashua, 32. Inbound here for Liam Kaza. Gives it into Nassau. Back out to Kim. Kim gives it over to Kaza. Now Kaufman in the corner for 3. Can't get it to fall today. But Kaufman gives it out to Kim. He's going to put one up. No good. And now Kaza. Over to Cherkis. Step back 3. No good. And it's rebounded by Robitor. Over to Mahwah now, right back to Robitor, and now Sebastian Miller. Back over to Robitor, back to Miller. Kaufman tried to get it there, back over to Robitor, and now Mahwah in the corner. Back to the wing, and 23. He's going to give it over to Miller. Now into Tyler Tholen, another personnel change that we didn't mention for the Thunderbirds. Travel call, how about that? And in comes Kyle Marquise for Leo Kaufman. Just a second over 5 minutes to go in the half here. Mahwah up 21-4 on the Broncos. Kim inbounding to Marquise. We'll start again. Marquise over to Cherkis. Now Kim in the corner. Long 3, it's no good. And Mahwah gets the rebound. He'll give it over to Miller.
Watch corner.
Now over on the wing to Snee, it's no good. Rebound goes out of bounds, and it goes the Broncos' way. And it's Giantonio coming in for Aiden Kim.
Let's go, Johnny. Come on, baby. Hey, you're at the 4, Johnny. Hey, you're at the baseline.
Now Marquise into Nassau, back to Marquise. 4 minutes 30 on the clock and counting. Gives it over to Nassau. Long 3 there. It's good. How about that from Logan Nassau? Mahwah still has triple the Broncos' score, but their spirits are not down. Jump ball here as Devin Snee was down on the ground there, and it goes to the Broncos.
Hey, make sure, get in the backcourt. Get in the backcourt, Kyle. Or actually, I'm sorry, unless it's all the way over there. You can get it closer.
And Marquise gets it. Ooh. Tried to give it over to Cherkis, it looked like, but Snee was there to get it. Now it is Robitor over to Snee once again. Under 4 minutes to go. Into Cable. Oh, another big block by Kaza. And it goes out of bounds. Still be Mahwah's way. Substitution, Alfano coming in for Snee and Shashua in for Giantonio. Ooh. Oh, another big block by Kaza. This time on Sulaw. And now Shashua takes things up. He gives it over to Kaza. He gives it over to Marquise. Lost it a little bit there. Gets it back now. Shashua once again. Back over to Marquise. Now Cherkis. Long 3 from the wing. It's no good. Cherkis was in there to get his own rebound. It went out of bounds. And now Elijah Chen comes on for Jacob Cherkis. Mahwah inbound here, but the Broncos will do everything they can to get it back. Still be Cam Robitor on the inbound. And he will get it back off the inbound. Now Cagle back to Robitor. Alfano on the inbound. Who got it? He gets it back now. Alfano, covered by Marquise, gives it over to Robitor. Robitor over to Alfano. Going to give it in to Miller. Now back out to Sular, who's going to miss a long 2. Foul call. It is going to be on, I believe, that was Cam Robitor. Or the 3rd team foul for Mahwah here. Now Marquise over to Nassau. Long 3 is good. And now 2 minutes 35 remain in the half. Alfano all the way cross court to Cagle. Now into Miller. He'll give it over to Robitor. Now Miller. He's going to take a long three. No good. Rebounded by Marquise. Marquise into Kaza. Out to Shishua. Out to Marquise. Over to Chen. He's going to be called stepping out. 2 minutes 04 on the clock. Timeout called by Mahwah here.
Oh, timeout. Bring it over. Full or 30? Full. Hey.
And it'll be a 1 minute timeout for Mahwah here. So we'll be back in about a minute. We're back now. It is a 21-10 score. The Thunderbirds up on the Broncos, but they're looking to cut it down with the 2 minutes they have before halftime. It'll be an inbound for the Thunderbirds here. Cam Robitor, but Elijah Chen covering him. He'll give it into Alfano. Back to Robitor, and now up to Miller. Now Cagle over to Miller. Now over to Robitor. Gonna give it over to Cagle now. Once again, Robitor with it. He's going to drive in. Nope. Gives it on the bounce pass to Brandon Sular. And it looks like the first shooting foul of the game here. Foul there was on Liam Kaza, first team foul for the Broncos and first foul for him. First shot was made by Sular. One more to go. And he'll miss the second one. Nassau with a good rebound there. About a minute 40 to go in the half. He'll give it over to Kaufman. And now Shishua with a long three in the corner. It's no good. Oh, but Kaufman gets it back, and he'll be fouled here.
Hey, good effort.
Fourth team foul of the half for Mahwah. Team fouls reset. Personal fouls do not. That was foul on Sebastian Miller, his first. And 2 shots from the line for Leo Kaufman. He's going to get the first. So it'll cut it to an 11-point lead as Brandon Madonna comes on for Logan Nassau, and it is Avery Peterson coming in for Mahwah. No good on the second one for Kaufman. Scram for the ball. It goes Mahwah's way. And now Robitor. He's going to give it over to Cagle with a long two. It's no good. And out of bounds. Kaufman had the last hand on it there. Mahwah inbound. Minute 14 to go here in the first half. It is Robitor who will give it all the way up to Alfano with a long three. It's no good. And Kaufman with it now for the Broncos. About a minute to go. Spinning around, looking for somebody.
Hey, get set up.
He's going to give it to Madonic. He'll give it back over to Kaufman. Now Shen in the corner. He's going to give it out to Kaufman. Three from the wing. It's no good. And it'll go Mahwah's way. Now Peterson is going to be fouled here by Chen, it looks like. And it is Chen's first foul. Peterson on the inbound here from Mahwah. It is Robitor. He takes it up for the Thunderbirds. 40 seconds to go. Cagle, now Robitor. Now Alfano. He's going to give it over to Robitor. And now Cagle. Now back over to Robotor once again. About 20 seconds to go. Robotor out to Alfano here. Going to be covered by Kaufman. Alfano back over to Robotor. Now Cagle. Now back over to Robotor. Back over to Alfano. But now Kaufman starts to press him. About 5 seconds to go now. Alfano back out to Robotor. Broncos trying to not let a shot off. Now Cagle. No shot, and even then it was blocked by Kaufman, and that's how things will end here in the first half of play. It is the Mahwah Thunderbirds leading the Broncos freshman team 22-11. We'll be back in about 5 minutes. And we're ready to get back to things here in the second half of play. 16 more minutes of regulation basketball to go. Broncos down 22-11. It will be Mahwah, the Thunderbirds, on the inbound. Cam Robitor will give it in, it looks like, to Elijah Dickerson, who started as point guard. He's back in for the first time since about the end of the first quarter. And it will be Dickerson who brings things up for the Thunderbirds. He'll give it back over to Robitor, now back to Dickerson. He gives it back to Robitor. Oh! And Kaufman with a hand on it there, tried to get it out, but Mahwah recovers. Nice bounce pass there from Alfano into Sular. The jump shot is missed. It went out of bounds. And now it'll be another Mahwah inbound here, this time from their attacking baseline. And now out to Dickerson, over to Alfano, now back again to Dickerson. Dickerson gives it over to Robitor. Now Dickerson back up with it and gets one. Pulled up from the foul line, took a mid-range two and got it. So it's 24-11. Here's Kyle Marquise bringing things up for the Broncos. He's going to give it over to Kaufman. Now puts one up. No good. And it's rebounded by Dickerson here, but Joshua gets it back off a bad pass there from Dickerson. He gives it over to Marquise, who takes the wide open three. A little bit of a block there, maybe some contact off of it. And now back up with it goes Leo Kaufman, and he's going to get another two for the Broncos. Heavily covered inbound from Mahwah here. It is now Cagle back over to Robitor, and now Alfano, and now Robitor again. Now Cagle with it. He's going to pull up for a contested three and gets it from the wing. And now Kazo on the inbound to Marquise once again. Over to Kaufman. Now Marquise. Now over to Joshua, now Chen. Back to Marquise here. He's going to give it over to Kaufman. And from the edge of the paint, no good on that too. Now it is Robitor who's going to bring things up and gives it to Dickerson. He tried to give it into Cagle, but it goes back the other way. Chen on it to Kaufman, now to Marquise. Nice layup, can't get it to fall though. And Robitor takes things up. Swipe there from Kaufman, it goes out of bounds. And Robitor on the inbound, he's going to give it to Alfano, but it goes out, and it'll go the Broncos' way.
Hey, here we go.
Joshua on the inbound gives it to Marquise. They'll begin again. 5 minutes 30 and counting to go in the third. Now Kaufman to Chen in the corner. Three is no good. Joshua gets the rebound, and he gives it over to Marquise. Marquise over to Kaufman, into Kaza, back out to Kaufman, corner three, in and out, no good, and it's going to be Dickerson on the rebound. Kaufman gets back after trying to challenge him.
Hey, Marquise, play that Marquise.
Now Dickerson, he's going to cross over, drives in, Kaza's there for the block, doesn't matter, it goes in. And Joshua gives it into Marquise again. Marquise over to Joshua. And now Kaufman. Joshua, long three, no good. And Dickerson gets it once again.
Hey, Ari, see it. Hey, Ari, what the hell?
Dickerson, Robitor, Alfano all getting their hands on it.
Play, Marquise.
And now it's going to be Sular. Out of bounds, goes Mahwah's way, and now Ryan Altanis will come in for Brandon Sular there. 4 minutes 20 to go in the third quarter. It will be, I believe, no, not Altanis, I believe that's Robater on the inbound. He's covered by Joshua, gives it into Altanis. Foul call, no, a jump ball. Two Broncos with a hand on it there to block. Jump ball, and it goes to the Broncos. Jacob Chirk is coming in here for Kyle Marquise. and it's Cherkis taking things up. He's going to give it over to Shishua, now over to Chen. Going to be called for a travel there. Another sub coming in. It's Jed Olamurawa coming in for Lucas Cagle. Robitor covered by Chen on the inbound. Gives it to Alfano. Now up to Dickerson. And now Altonis. Going to give it over to Dickerson. He gives it now to Robitor. Gives it into Altonis. Long three. It is no good. And Kaza. Oh, that wasn't a three. That was mid-range two-pointer. Don't know what happened, but it is Kaufman who gives it over to Cherkis. Now over to Chen. Three from the corner. Went off the top of the backboard. Cherkis gets it. Now Shishua over to Kaufman. Step back from the corner. And good. Finally a three falling for the Broncos here. Fittingly, Leo Kaufman puts it down. And now Alfano off the inbound from Robitor. Gives it up to Altinis. And now Elijah Chen on the tip there trying to get it. Out it goes Mahwah's way. Alfano with a long contested three. Now back over to Dickerson. Gives it out to Alfano. And a timeout here for Mahwah. It's going to be a 30-second one, I believe. We'll be right back. And we're back now. It is a Mahwah inbound coming here. No personnel changes for the Broncos. And it is Elijah Dickerson bringing things up. Now Robitor fakes the shot. Now Dickerson with it. Just about 3 minutes to go in the third. Now Dickerson looking to drive in. Now gives it out to Robitor. He's going to give it over to... Tried to give it over to Altinis, but it goes the other way. Now Cherkis bringing it up for Hills. He'll give it over to Kaufman into Kaza. Foul. It's going to be on Jed Olamurawa, his second of the game. And the first foul of the half, team foul, goes to the Mahwah Thunderbirds. Out to Chen in the corner to Kaufman. Three is good again. How about that? And by my count, that's 2 threes in a row for Leo Kaufman. Oh. Coach said to go on a run. Looks like that's what they're trying to do. Altinis, now Robitor, and now Dickerson.
Hey, Leo, play that, Leo, play it, Leo. Leo, play it.
Dickerson over to Robitor. And now Dickerson with it once again.
Hey, Jacob, help on that Ari, that's you.
Gonna give it over to Robitor, now Miller. Over to Robitor again, now Altinis, over to Miller. He's going to give it over to Dickerson, and now over to Robitor, into Miller. He puts up a 2, it's no good. Chen gets the rebound, now Kaufman. He'll give it over to Chen. Chen with a sky-high 3, no good. But Cherkis on the rebound, stolen there by Robitor, and now Cherkis will fall back. It's Dickerson. He's going to give it in to Altinis, no good. He gets his own rebound and gets it back. Another 2 for the Thunderbirds here. It is Cherkis. He gives it over to Shishua. Shishua over to Cherkis. Now he's going to give it to Kaza. Tipped out. Goes back to Shishua. Now between the legs of Robitor. Kaufman gets it. He pulls up from about the foul line there. Tipped on the rebound. Cherkis gets it. He gives it over to Kaza. Now back out to Kaufman. They'll reset. 40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Over to Cherkis. Now Chen. Back over to Kaufman. Puts a long one up and good. How about that? Now it's just a 9-point deficit. Better than before. Robitor. And now Robitor again. Now Dickerson. Over to Miller. Foul caller out of bounds. I don't know. I guess it was out of bounds. Sub for the Broncos here. Elijah Chen comes off for Logan Nassau. Here's Dickerson with it. Puts one up. Kaza with a hand on it there. It falls. 3 seconds. Now Nassau all the way. No good to end the quarter. So end of the third. Just a 9-point deficit for the Broncos now. They're down 31-22 to the Mahwah Thunderbirds. We'll be back in about a minute here. You're watching PH Athletics, your home for Pascack Hill Sports. And we're ready to get back to things here. 8 minutes of regulation basketball to go. Cam Robitor on the inbound here. Looks like he'll give it back to Elijah Dickerson. And I believe, yep, that's what he is going to do. And now Dickerson over to Robitor. Back to Dickerson now. He's going to give it over to Miller. Now back to Dickerson. Marquise tried to get it. Big block, another big block from Liam Kaza there on Ryan Altonis. Big man on big man.
Hey, Liam, go towards the middle. Logan, back up,
and now
Logan.
Robitor. Robitor on the inbound. It goes off and it goes the Broncos' way. Shishua brings things up.
Here, watch,
He'll give it over to Nassau. Nassau out to Marquise. He's going to pull up from the elbow. It's no good. But Kaufman trying to keep things in. Goes off of Mahwah. No, it goes off of a Bronco there, and it will be a Mahwah inbound. So here is Cam Robitor, covered by Logan Nassau. He's going to give it into Sebastian Miller. Back to Robitor, and now up to Altonis. Now it is Robitor. He's going to give it over to Dickerson. And now Miller over to Dickerson once again. He gives it over to Sular, that was. I believe he's back on. No, sorry, that was Miller. No, it was Sular. Sorry. Had a bit of trouble seeing the numbers there. But Nassau into Kaza. Oh, going to be fouled there. Foul's going to be on Altonis. His first of the game, second team foul for the Thunderbirds in this half. 2 shots for Liam Kaza. Kaza gets his first. Subbing in 2 Thunderbirds here. It is Cagle and Alfano coming in for Miller and I believe Altonis. So the entire starting 5 for the Thunderbirds back on. Kaza, one more. He's going to make it, and now it's just A 7-point lead for the Thunderbirds here. They do have control of the ball, as now Cagle back over to Robitor, and now Alfano with it. Alfano, big steal from Kaufman. He almost loses it. On the ground trying to get it in a jump ball. It will be the Broncos who have it. Shashua on the inbound, looks like he'll give it to Marquise, and that's what he'll do. Well, Marquise taking things up, down by 7, 6 minutes 40 to go. Nassau into Kaza, out to Shashua very quickly. Now over to Marquise, and Nassau with an open three, no good. Out of bounds goes Mahwah's way. And now Alfano over to Robitor. He'll give it to Alfano. Now it is Cagle. He'll give it over to Sular, that was, and now Robitor. Ooh, Kaufman tipped it there, but it goes still Mahwah's way. Dickerson over to Robitor. And he'll give it out to Alfano. Now Dickerson with it once again. It is Cagle up top. 3, good. That brings it back to a 10-point lead now. 5 minutes 30 to go. It's Marquise. He gives it to Nassau, into Kaza, out to Shashua. Drives in, foul called here. 2 shots coming for Ari Shashua. And it's going to be a foul on Lucas Cagle, his first and 3rd team foul for the Thunderbirds. Shashua gets his first. In goes Elijah Chen for Logan Nassau. So Shashua gets both, making it an 8-point game. 5 minutes 25 to go here in the 4th quarter. It's going to be Cagle over to Robitor, now up to Alfano. Trying to drive in, gives it out to Dickerson. Now over to Robitor, back to Dickerson now.
Liam, you're good, you're there.
3 for Robitor, whistle, however. Double foul, it'll be an inbound for Mahwah here. Foul was on Cagle of Mahwah, his second, and Elijah Chen of Hills, his second. And on the inbound, it will be Alfano with it. He's covered by Marquise. Oh, backcourt for Mahwah here. Dickerson lost it off his foot. It was very close to being backcourt anyways on that pass. So here's Shashua inbounding to Marquise. He's going to give it over to Shashua. Now over to Kaufman. He's going to give it to Marquise. Long 3 from the wing. It's no good. Shashua gets it, however, after it rolls for a little bit. Out to Kaza in the corner. No good there. Tipped. Goes out, and it's going to be Mahwah's. And in comes Sebastian Miller for Nico Alfano here, the only substitution in that period. This is Robitor. Gonna get it in the middle. Now Cagle back over to Robitor. Chen hard pressing. And now up to Dickerson. Almost lost it there. Could have been too high. And now it is Chen on the ground. Jump ball. Both Kim and Sular on the ground there. And now Shashua into Marquise. The Broncos get it. 4 minutes 20 to go. Broncos down by still 8. Into Kaza, out to Shishua, now back out to Marquise. 3 is good from the top. That's going to cut it to 5 here. As now Robitor into Cagle. Now Miller over to Cagle here. Tipped, and Kaza gets it. Tipped by Shishua. Kaza gets it. Now Marquise. Under halfway to go in the fourth. Just about 3 minutes 45 and counting. Now Shishua. Long 3. He can't get that one, but Kaufman gets it. He's going to go up with it. He can't get one to fall. And a foul here. So it's Kaufman's first, the second team foul in this half for the Broncos here. Bonus activated at 17 fouls, double bonus activated at 10. And now Miller over to Cagle. No good there, but Kaza brings it down. Kaufman gets it. 3 minutes 20 to go. And now it's Marquise. They're down by 5 now as Chen can't get the layup. And now Dickerson. Oh, tipped there again by Marquise, but Dickerson gets it back, and now Miller back to Dickerson. Back over to Robitor. Now Dickerson over to Miller. Now it's Robitor again, back to Dickerson, trying to waste as much time as possible. Timeout here from Mahwah, and I believe that's going to be a 1 minute timeout. It is. We'll be right back in a minute. And we're back to it. 2 minutes 50 to go here. Broncos down by just 5. It'll be a Mahwah inbound, Robitor with it. Shishua on the coverage. And Robitor all the way out to Dickerson. The Thunderbirds will reset. Dickerson back with it once again, gives it back over to Miller. Kaza in there for the block, gets it out again.
Why are you so late? You gotta get over. That's overload.
Out of bounds, it goes Mahwah's way. It was Sular on trying to go up there, and Kaza with the block.
Take it away, Leo.
Kaza covering now. He's going to get it back. No, it goes back to Mahwah on the inbound. And Dickerson over to Miller. Back to Dickerson. No, Marquise with the hand on it. He gets it. Puts one up, and good. Cuts the lead to 3, and now they will press as Miller over to Dickerson. Dickerson, oh, a big layup there for Cagle. And now it's back to a 5-point lead. 2 minutes to go. Here's Marquise, over to Kaufman. Turns around, gives it to Marquise, over to Shishua. On the wing, he gives it over to Marquise. Now over to Shen, now Marquise with it. Now Kaufman, long 3, it's good! And now it's just a 2-point game. Robitor over to Miller, now Cagle. Now it's Robitor again. Now Miller, back to Robitor. Minute 30 to go. It's Dickerson with it now for the Thunderbirds. He's going to try and drive in. Loses it. It goes Hills' way here. Substitution. Nico Alfano comes in for Sebastian Miller. 2 ties. 3 takes the lead. Here's Marquise. Everybody's excited. Marquise for the tie. Gets it! Beck tied up. The Broncos finally tie it up. And with just about 1:15 to go. Now it's time to play defense. Shashua in there. Now up to Cagle. Kaza. Block. Can't get the block. Foul. No. Not what you want to see. It's a foul. It's on Kaza, his second and third team foul for the Broncos. We're not in foul trouble at this point. Bonus probably not going to be triggered in this last minute. It is Sular for 2. He's going to make the first one, as I believe you can see the Mahwah JV team coming in. Sular looking for his second, and he gets it. So back to a 2-point lead for Mahwah. Minute to go. Marquise taking things up. He's going to give it over to Kaufman. Marquise loses it. No backcourt. Now over to Chen. Drives in, puts one up. No good. Who gets the rebound? Down to the ground in a jump. It's Chen on the ground. He might have hit his head. And I believe he did. In comes Logan Nassau. It'll be a Mahwah inbound here. 44.3 seconds on the clock. And a reminder, coming up in just a few moments after this one, we've got our JV team up against the Thunderbirds JV team. That'll probably be around 5:30. Right now, it's the conclusion of this one. Cagle. Now it's Robitor looking to burn as much clock as possible. Alfano. Kaufman on him. Whistle here. Timeout from Mahwah. Should be a full one. Full timeout. We'll be back in a minute. Back now, ready to go. 33.6 seconds on the clock. We're in the fourth quarter. That much seems to be obvious. 38-36 is the score. Mahwah with the lead and the ball on the inbound. Logan Nassau covering. Cam Robitor, he's going to give it over to, it's number 13, their point guard, Elijah Dickerson. Under 30 to go. Robitor with it. Still with them is Nassau. Now some contact there. Foul called. It's going to be on Nassau. You got a hand in the face there. And it is his first timeout. Seems to be a 30-second one. No, a full timeout maybe. Full timeout from Mahwah. We'll be back in about a minute once again. Here we are to set you up once again. 19.4 seconds on the clock this time. Still a 2-point lead for Mahwah. They have the ball coming in. Cam Robitor on the inbound, covered by Logan Nassau. Going to give it back to Elijah Dickerson. He's covered heavily by Kyle Marquise. He'll foul him, his first of the night. And the 15th foul for the Broncos. Inbound once again for Mahwah. Robitor with Nassau covering. 16.6 on the clock this time. Gives it over to Alfano now. Marquise almost got it out. Kaufman can't get it. Foul once again. This time it's Kaufman. Another second foul for Kaufman here. Another inbound. And one more foul for the Broncos. It'll be a 1-and-1 from the line for Mahwah. 11.9 to go. Here's Dickerson. Another foul. It's going to be on Marquise, his second. And now 1-and-1. It is Dickerson, once again a 1-and-1. Bonus has been triggered, 17 fouls. Double bonus is triggered at 10 team fouls. Here's the one shot from Dickerson. And it's no good. But Mahwah brings it down. Foul again. This time it'll be a guaranteed 2. And Brandon Sular will go to the line. Fouls on Liam Casa, his third. Sular's going to make the first. 3-point game. Makes the second. Pretty much the clincher. And he'll make the second. So it's a 4-point game, 8.7 seconds on the clock. They'll roll it up to not waste some time. Here's Kaufman. Ooh! Not a good one, out of bounds. No foul call. Kaufman surprised about it. So are his teammates, it seems. But no, it is a foul call. Out of bounds, sorry. Kaufman gets it, gives it out to Marquise. Over to Kaufman, step back to end it. No good. So the Broncos will lose this one by only 4 to the Mahwah Thunderbirds. Final score 40-36. We thank you for watching here on the PH Athletics YouTube channel, your home for all Pascack Hills sports. I'm Matthew Merlino. Coming up in just about 25 minutes, I believe, at 5:30, we'll have the junior varsity Broncos as they take on the Thunderbirds as well. For now, though, I'm Matthew Merlino.